Hi there, this is Mark Ittleman, the speech pathologist who can make a rock talk, and welcome to this video about the teaching of talking. Thank you very much for opting in to the website and for coming by so that we could have a conversation about my new book. Again, my name is Mark Ittleman, and I've been a speech pathologist for 40 years. Can you believe that? For the last 40 years, I've been sitting down eyeball to eyeball with people 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday for 40 hours a week just about, and even more than that. And many of the people I've worked with have been either children who did not develop speech the way they should have, or in many cases, people who've had stroke and aphasia. I've just loved my work. Being in private practice for 20 years was a wonderful experience in Lakeland. I loved every minute and had an opportunity to see many different kinds of speech problems. However, the ones that I enjoyed the most were usually the complex ones, the ones that usually dealt with language. Language is the formulation of words and the expression of words. And when one speaks, one has to first of all go into the mind and recall a particular word that they want to use, as well as the thought that goes with it. Now, recalling the word is usually what's difficult for the stroke patient, and even learning a single word is difficult for the child who hasn't been able to speak. And so, one of the things that I do, which has set me apart from many other speech pathologists, is that I've always believed very strongly that you have to involve the caregiver and the loved ones. And what I do is I teach them how to stimulate single words all through the day at home. Because that's what language is the formulation of words. And quite often, it's the language that ends up getting lost with stroke patients, or the language which does not develop in children. Now, if you were to think about it for a minute, I want you to think about the home. The home is where we all learned how to speak, if you remember. Well, anyway, when you're at home and you're just a baby, your mother is there, and she's talking to you when she first wakes you up in the morning, when she gets you dressed, when she bathes you, when she toilets you, when she diapers you, then you go have breakfast, and she talks about what you're going to eat, and as she feeds you, she may talk to you and tell you the names of the things that you're eating. And then the mother just goes on and on and on all through the day, stimulating a child to speak, describing what's going on, describing the word that is in reference. So if you're talking about milk, then the word milk is repeated, or if it's an egg, the mother shows the child the egg, she repeats that word, she stimulates the child to say that word also. And so what happens as human beings learn how to speak is there's always somebody there at home who's teaching you the word and saying things about the word, and saying the word aloud so that you can hear it and so that you can imitate it. And that's much of what we do in the teaching of talking method. It's very much the same method as children undergo when they first learn how to speak. And so most people don't really understand the ease and the simplicity in that. So that if we were to wake up in the morning and I might say it's time to take a pee, or it's time to wash your hands, or brush your teeth, or get dressed, or what do you want to wear? Do you want to wear the blue shirt? Do you want to wear the pink shirt? Whatever. The whole day involves the caregiver asking questions to the person with the speaking difficulty in a very special way. And the very special way is the form of a question. And we can teach you how to ask questions that typically elicit a single word or spoken words in reply. So it's really, really cool. You can learn how to ask questions that get verbal replies. And that's what the teaching of talking is. And these questions that you ask are not in a small room with a bunch of pictures or flashcards. It's in about every activity that you do at home. You're asking simple questions that facilitate an answer. See, we all want to be able to communicate. We all want to be able to tell each other what we want, what we need, where we want to go, and so forth. And so, if you can stimulate your loved one to use words that they want to express and do it in a simple way, they will learn it, chances are. And so this is all about the stimulation of language, the stimulation of words, of spoken words that are to be used throughout the day. And just remember that when you stimulate language as a caregiver or as a speech pathologist, there has to be a need for the person with the speaking difficulty to speak. If you end up giving that person everything that they want or need, and if you don't require speaking, then they don't really need to learn how to speak. They'll just sit there like bumps on a log and take whatever it is that you want to give to them. So the teaching of talking involves getting the caregiver to ask simple questions throughout the day in activities of daily living which facilitate a verbal spoken word reply. And I can show you how to do this in a very simple way that will get results. As long as, now I want you to listen, as long as the person with whom you are working is stimulable. Now our whole book is based on the fact that an individual that you may be working with must be stimulable. They must be able to repeat letters of the alphabet or vowels, A, E, I. They must be able to repeat little words, little single syllable words, or even multi-syllable words. And so that's crucial. Those with global aphasia, they have a much more complicated problem. With the teaching of talking method, we want to teach people who have speaking difficulties how to speak if they can imitate. If they can imitate numbers, if they can imitate letters, if they can say a word after you. And if they can, then they would be very good candidates for the teaching of talking method. Now there are also people, children, as well as adults who've had strokes, who have what we call apraxia of speech. Now apraxia of speech is when the adult or the child cannot formulate sounds. So if you ask them to imitate A, or O, or oo, or I, and if they can't do that, then the chances are they have something very similar to an apraxia of speech. Or if you should say simple words that they know so well, like car, or mom, or love, or boy, or girl, and you say that word and ask them to say that with you, and if they can't say that with you, then chances are they have an apraxia. And if they have an apraxia, that is something that will need to be worked on prior to working on the teaching of talking. If you're going to work on the teaching of talking, the person with whom you are working with must be able to imitate numbers, letters, vowels, or very small single words. It's just a great method. It's a very relaxed method. It's a very fun method that you can use anywhere, when you're out and about, when you're shopping, when you're in the car. You can use it anywhere because you don't have to use papers, you don't have to use a computer, you don't have to lug around anything. The only thing you have to lug around is yourself and the person you're working with, and you have to be in the conversation, constantly stimulating them with the way I'm going to teach you to stimulate them with the way that you ask questions. And I will show you a way that will almost always get a verbal response. You know, this is going to be very exciting for you. It's going to be very exciting for you because it's just a terrific method to use, and we've been using it to help people who have strokes or help children talk for many, many years and get great results with it. Our company, Be in Conversation, PLLC, is also in the process right now of developing the book, Teaching of Talking, on the audio, so that you can listen to it in your car or anywhere you want, or if you go walking or jogging or whatever, you can have the whole book on an audio program that you can listen to on your iPod or on your special listening device. We're also going to be offering webinars on the web in the future, very short future, where all the procedures that we teach you in the book can be presented on video with live examples to show you exactly how we do it. And I'm going to be sending you a bunch of stuff in the future, a bunch of things that will help you understand our method and learn our method so that you can do it as well as I can, so that you can do it like an expert. So on that, I'm going to recommend that you purchase a copy of Teaching of Talking. It's a great read. It goes by very quickly. It's relatively simple, and we hope that you and your loved one benefit from it greatly, and that hopefully very soon you will become a teacher of talking. Please feel free to go to my website at teachingoftalking.com, and if you'd like to make a statement or say something in the blog, please just type away and ask a question or make a comment. Or if you have any personal concerns or questions, drop me an email, please, at markidelman@makerockstalk.com, and I'll do my very, very best to answer you just as soon as possible. And on that, thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful. I hope that you've learned that the Teaching of Talking method is a very relaxed method. It's a conversational method. It's a method that you can do anywhere. You can use it in the bathroom, in the car, in the grocery store. You can use it anywhere. And it's very simple, and it's a method to help facilitate words and speaking by the people you love. So let's get started. Get the book, start reading, start practicing, so that you will be a teacher of talking. This is Mark Idelman, the speech pathologist who can make a rock talk, and thank you. Thank you very much for listening and watching this video. Bye-bye now.